what's up? It's Musicians Force Podcast once again. I'm Mikey, that's Brandon, Hugh behind the camera, and we're half of Harlem, Hayfield. How do you like that? Dude, you guys, did you see, I follow American Songwriter News.
Okay.
And it was Zach Bryant. However you feel about Zach Bryant is whatever. I don't really know.
Did you say Zach Bryant?
Brian?
Zach Bryan, yeah. Anyway.
That's how much I know him. I don't know how many letters are in his last name. But no, there was some controversy. Like he was doing 3 big ass arena shows, and he did a meet and greet after the first show, and did a meet and greet after the third show.
Yeah,
and said he needed to rest and he was wore out and stuff, so he couldn't do meet and greets for the second show. And people were online roasting him, and I don't know.
Didn't have something to do with like he some kid like posted about it who wanted his autograph or something like that.
Yeah, the kid was like, I waited so long and you blew us off or whatever.
Yeah. So there was supposed to be a meet and greet at that show and it didn't happen.
That's what I'm assuming from the article.
Okay.
I didn't know that part.
I was assuming that, I mean, unless there's some kind of strategy behind it, why would you do like, we're doing meet and greets on the first concert and the third concert, but not the second concert. So, I mean, you wouldn't think to do that on purpose.
If it's that case, if you had a meet and greet, especially if people paid for it and you didn't show up to it, bad form.
Yeah.
If you just normally come out and are very gracious with your fans, but there's one night where you're like, I just need to get back to the fucking bus. I can understand that.
I get it.
Yeah.
I think it's
just, I guess it comes down to like, what do you feel like you owe the public versus what the public thinks you owe them?
When it comes to like big musicians at that level.
When it comes to any kind of entertainers, like meet and greets, things of that nature. Like,
I mean, if it's like Hugh said, if it's like organized ahead of time, you're supposed to go do it, then absolutely. But you're saying, what do you think generally what the responsibility is from a performer to their fans? Is that what you mean?
I guess. Yeah, to a certain extent. Like,
that's interesting. I don't really know. I mean, like, I would think that, I don't know if there is an answer to that really, other than you probably want to do it. But
it's got to be super relative, like to you and your situation.
Yeah. I think each artist establishes their own boundaries. You know, you've got some artists who are like, they get up, no banter. They're like, here's my songs. Bye.
Yeah.
You got what you paid for.
Oh yeah. It's like the ones that would say, you know, they like will shut down the whole song if somebody takes a picture, you know, kind of thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, like Tool started doing no phone rules at concerts.
Yeah.
He was like, come to the show and enjoy the show.
I saw the Raconteurs right before COVID shut everything down. I saw them in Milwaukee or something. And it was one of those yonder bag shows where you couldn't do it. And like, at first I was just like, come on, what are you doing? And then while I was sitting there, I was like, there's not a single phone in front of me right now.
It's just amazing.
And I was like, I could appreciate it.
Yeah. That was Tool, is that right?
No, it was Raconteurs.
Oh, okay.
But Tool started doing that at their shows.
Tool, what's Tool? Maynard.
Yeah.
He actually speaks out about that a lot, and he says like Mikey said, you know, you're coming to a concert to see the concert, put your fucking phone away. Like,
I mean, it is a disconnect because you see a lot of them people when they're in the crowd and they're watching the show through their phone. Like, you could get that exact same view from your couch. What are you doing here? If you're not,
I get that, but at the same time, if you paid money to go see this concert, I feel like you should be able to see this concert however you want.
If you're not interfering with someone else, if I'm not bumping you or blocking your view all night, like if someone's filming with an iPad all night,
that's a distraction.
Come on, don't be an asshole. But I mean, even people who are conscious of it are like, sometimes they just want to get a photo.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, it's it's so common at concerts that everybody's got their phone out taking pictures and videos.
I agree with photos. I don't know about, I'm torn on video. Because I've seen some badass live performances that somebody caught on YouTube, and it was like,
it's a catch-22.
I'm so glad somebody caught this so I could watch it too.
It's one of those things. It's a catch-22 for sure, because like, yes, you there's tons of like good what's the word, not pirate, but like bootleg stuff out there, but then from the artist side, you know, they want to preserve all of that for themselves because that's how they make a living.
Well, and they want to put their best foot forward,
sure.
you know, so like they you know, the artist probably wants some quality control and be like, fuck, I wasn't really happy with the show we did in Kansas, and now some guys got it.
Right. Now it lives on the internet forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But how do you get away from it? Because everybody's got a computer in their pocket with a video camera and a phone.
Unless you have to put them in a bag.
I think the shows with the bag, I think that's reasonable, having that up front. Just saying, if you're coming to this show, you better be willing.
They start doing it with stand-up comedy, too.
You go.
Yeah, and I had to do it for John Mulaney in Peoria. I had to put my phone in a bag. And I was like, this is fine. Yeah. Like there's a spot you can go over by the concessions where they'll unlock it for you. So it's not like you can't answer it in an emergency. If your phone is, buzzing in the bag and you think like maybe someone's got an emergency and they need to get a hold of me, it's not like, well, better wait till the show. You can still get to it.
I've been to a couple shows, whether it was comedy or anything like that, where they're like, all right, we don't want no photography during the show. So here, we're going to do some poses and everybody can get their photos and then you'll have your photos.
That's genius.
Action shots, and then we can go on with the show.
Right. Just someone being like,
oh. But I totally agree with like setting boundaries. Well, not too long ago, within the last couple of years, Chappell Roan was in the news because like she blew up out of nowhere with Pink Pony Club and shit like that to the point where her fans were getting pushy. And she's like, hey guys, fucking chill. I'm still just a person.
Yes.
So maybe hit the brakes a little bit. I totally respect that shit because it can be crazy, I'm sure.
I see that kind of demanding stuff. It's the same as like paparazzi, thinking like you chose to be in the public eye, so now you deserve to have me
up your
hounding
ass
you up and down the
dude.
street and trying to get pictures of your kids and shit. It's like, just because I chose to be an artist doesn't mean I invited you into my life with no boundaries.
And also, dude, I have never seen anything that pisses me off so much as paparazzi. Like the way they bug people, I've always just thought it was so disgusting.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing, a lot of the excuses they use, they say things like, well, we're the press, we're, whatever. Like, okay, that's fine. Press is press. You're doing this for a totally different. You're not here to get the news.
Yeah,
you're here to get one shot that they're going to pay you cash for down at the
you're
place.
Predatory.
It's a super predatory, and they almost antagonize some of the celebrities.
Yeah.
So that they will do something crazy, and haul off and push them,
trying to make a viral moment.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like interacting at shows or after shows or whatever, I think that's up to the artist.
Yeah.
And if you establish, like when I first met Elida, she was going to see Rob Thomas a lot, or like Rob Thomas and Matchbox 20. And so I would go with her to those shows. And like, if you went over by the buses before the show, there's a pretty good chance that he was going to come out and sign some autographs and some pictures. Or after the show, there was like, you could like
Rob Thomas.
Yeah. But like, there's been a couple of times where like we were waiting in line for a show and here he comes walking right down and he's just like, hey guys,
Rob Thomas.
And he's high-fiving people, but he's like, I got to get in for sound check. I can't do. And he's like polite about it, but just saying like, I don't have time to stop. There was a whole cruise with Matchbox 20 and the Goo Goo Dolls. And so we're like, all right, this will be fun.
Love Goo Goo Dolls.
It's like the Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior of 90s.
Right.
Post-grunge.
And it was a huge cruise ship and there were like a bunch of bars on the ship. And so they had a bunch of other bands too that were like smaller bands. I don't know where they got them, if they were associated or not, but every night there was live music all night. So you'd go to a headline show with one of the, headliner bands and then go to shows all night. And it was funny because part of the promotion for it was like, spend the week hanging out with the band, making it seem like they're going to be mixing it up with everyone.
You're going to be on a first name basis.
Yeah. Rob Thomas did not come out of that little glass house in the, up
Did
in
he
the,
was standing in front of the window?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I ever actually saw him like looking out, but you knew he was like up in like the little penthouse thing. But
like,
you know what? I don't blame him at all.
Fuck no, dude. You're trapped on a boat.
Trapped on a boat, dude.
And not just trapped on a boat. One thing I realized, because I had a guy try to start a fight with me on one of the shows. He dumped a beer over my head because he was like bumping into everyone. And I was like, hey, would you die? And he was like, I'll fucking kill you. And I was like, wow, okay.
We're in international waters, bitch.
Yeah. And that's actually, I was heated. And I was like, somebody already got arrested in Nassau when we were in the Bahamas. And they got left behind.
Oh, dude.
No.
Left them in jail. And I'm like, first of all, this guy is huge, and so he will kick my ass. But even if I decided to hit him back just out of principle, now I might get fucking, put in a some dungeon on the fucking ship. I don't know what's going on. So, the bouncer came and gave us, the guy bought me a beer and apologized or whatever. Aside from that, though, what I realized was whenever I went to the shows with my wife and her circle of friends, that was like the Midwest Superfans group. Well, now we were in the fucking international competition of that. We were just the Midwest
fans.
Contingent.
Yeah.
Now you
got on a fucking giant boat to see these bands. You're all super fans.
Yes, and that's what I mean. Everybody expected like
kid Rob Thomas.
I'm going to be up front for every show because I'm up front for every show. And now you've got 1,000 people on the boat who are like, well, I'm the biggest fan.
Right.
And I was like, Jesus Christ. And so I was hanging back. And the one show that I was like, I'll push up front with Elida is the time this guy was like, I'm on steroids, bitch. And I'm like, yes, you are.
I got 2 kids. Their names are Matchbox and 20.
We ended up looting the decorations on the ship because it was midnight it was getting close to midnight on Saturday.
You mean free souvenirs?
Yeah. There was this big ass poster hanging off of the balcony. And one of our friends was like talking to one of the security guards and he goes, what you guys do with that after the show? And they were like, after midnight, everything goes in the trash. So it's fair game.
Mm-hmm.
Decals, posters, anything Matchbox 20 or Goo Goo Dolls. It's up for grabs. We're going to start tearing it down and putting it in garbage bins if you don't get it first. And so we had someone like on the thing and we weren't even fast enough. Stroke of midnight, we looked up and it was gone.
It was Ocean's 11 and it was actually on the ocean.
Yeah. So we're like, fuck it, let's split up. And so, we go and
it was gone.
Split up for the Matchbox 20.
There were these
thievery at midnight in the middle of the ocean.
I bet they still got some Goo Goo Dolls toilet paper on the 3rd floor.
Awesome.
There were all these like walkway things that would kind of like show you how to get from one place to the other. So they were like these little porthole, things with the Matchbox 20 Cruise logo on it.
Yeah.
And so it was like every 20 feet on the linoleum, there were these vinyl things. And so I like walked up and I'm like picking at it. And there were a couple people like sitting drinking. They were like, we tried, man. Good luck. And there was like a little grout line where there was like a little daylight to get under there. So I pulled out a credit card, went shoop, ripped it off, stuck it to my shirt, went to the next one, whack, stuck it to my arm. And I just came back covered in fucking stickers. And then we laid it on the bed, covered the sticky side in toilet paper so we could roll it up and get it into our bags.
Nice.
And so then me and this guy who, I'd been hanging out with for the thing, we were like standing around and we see these elevator doors close and it's a full top to bottom on both doors, like, portrait of the bands. And we're like, as soon as those doors close again, left door, we rip, try and get it before it goes up.
Yeah.
And like, so we or it wouldn't have gone up, but
taking the ship apart in the middle of the night.
We literally
the idea of a bunch of Matchbox 20 and Goo Goo Dolls fans ransacking a cruise ship
that's what
at
I'm
midnight
saying. In the middle of the fucking ocean.
Fucking hilarious. Because you're not, none of you are sober.
And
you've all been drinking for days.
And they had to split up because it was so rabid.
They had
There's
to
so much
Scooby-Doo
stuff.
this shit. We got to get to the bottom of this merch mystery.
but the
it's like the fucking, what's the word I want? Like
Zoinks.
The most like specific.
Yeah. A niche.
Yeah, there you go.
We one of the doors did open while we were pulling it, so it got all like crumpled up, and we were just kind of and we're holding on to it.
Yeah.
And then when it opened up again, we were able to get it out. But I still have some of that shit at home. Just it's like in a box. But someday we might be like, oh, that's fun. Put it up on the wall.
Yeah. I saw the Goo Goo Dolls at the Devon not last year. We went. Megan and I went in 2 years ago.
Yeah, with Fits in the Tantrums, right?
Yeah, well, you guys were there, right?
Yeah,
dude, that was an awesome show, right?
Yeah.
They had the big giant beach balls going, and and Resnick was that like it was a Sunday, I think.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was either a Thursday or Sunday, but I remember he comes out on stage and just shuts everything down for a second. He goes, "Man, who would have thought?" In the middle of the Midwest on a Sunday night in Decatur, Illinois. This is great. And it was.
That's cool.
The crowd was awesome.
We don't get a lot of shit around here.
Right? Well, the Devon brings a lot of cool things,
Yeah.
That was a great show. That's one of the best shows I've seen in a while.
Yeah. That one, after that show, I was talking to Mikey and I was just like, Mikey, you gotta come up with some like cheesy segues between songs, because I I had seen Ludacris do this.
Oh, you told us about
that.
Yeah.
And then Fits of the Tantrums did the same thing where like there's like banter in between songs, but instead of just being like, "Hey man, it's really great to see you guys. Really happy to be here. 1, 2, 3, 4." It was just like, I was talking to someone the other day and they were treating me like I was stupid, and I looked them dead in the eye and I said, "Hey, you know what? Mama didn't raise no fool."
Right.
Mama! And I was like, huh. That was weird. And it was like every song had one of that. It was like, you know what? People around the country are hurting, the economy and all that stuff. Sometimes I want to say, "Please, Mr. President." Hey!
I think they have a new album out. Fits and Tantrums. I think
they were great live.
I think they just hit another album out.
You were talking about bootlegs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember back when I was at the newspaper and working with Tim Kaine, the entertainment editor there, we would do a video series, and he was talking about he got into like an internet beef with Dweezil Zappa.
Something about this episode.
Yeah, all right.
It's all very weird, specific things. Yeah.
Well, Tim's a huge Zappa fan, and so like he grew up getting bootlegs of his favorite artists and stuff. And so I think this was in response to like a love letter to bootleg tapes and CDs and shit, where he was talking about how that expanded his reach and hearing songs that were never released but played at shows that he would have never been able to make it to, and like showing an appreciation for it. And I think Dweezil Zappa was just like, "Well, that's fucking stealing," and blah, blah, blah. And Tim's just like, I'm saying how much. He was like, "Do you know how much money I spent on Zappa shit?" Like,
yeah,
he got his cut. It's not like I was bootlegging those studio releases. I was buying the regular one, the Japanese release. I was getting the singles from all that stuff.
That rabbit hole when I was a teenager on Bob Dylan bootlegs.
Yeah,
and honestly, the Bob Dylan song "One More Cup of Coffee," he has one specific. I haven't been able to find it since streaming. I had it off of fucking Napster or something. But there was one bootleg copy of "One More Cup of Coffee" that was so damn good. And the studio track, nowhere near as good. But Bob Dylan was the kind of guy where he'd go on stage and be like, "Guys, let's change it up." He just didn't want to play the same song twice. Same song.
Same way every time.
Yeah, play it the same way twice.
Yeah, and that's a big, like, Frank Zappa was a big proponent of that.
All them guys.
He was just like, all them
guys. Grateful Dead bootlegs.
Yeah.
Fucking Bob Dylan bootlegs.
Dude, that industry, that used to be an industry. Think about it. That industry is pretty well dead because of streaming.
Industry?
Because everybody it doesn't matter now. If any copy of anything that's made is out for everyone to see at all times.
Yeah.
So like back in the day when people were bootlegging cassettes, people were selling that. There was a whole black market industry that's just gone now.
Well, there was a time when we were sharing some like clips on social media, and we were like, "Oh, hold on, we didn't release that song yet. We probably ought to keep that." And then we were like, "Oh, well, there was a lady from Saratoga that already posted the live version from our show." And I mean, that footage is awesome. I'm really happy those are out there, and also got some really nice comments on them. So I'm like, "Hey, all right." But also like, a couple of our entire sets were streamed live and are still available to go back and watch at Kenny's. So it's like, you can only control so much.
Well,
we can choose if we share our stuff, but
if you're playing live anywhere, you can't control that at all.
No.
I mean, especially on a regional level.
We should get our own bootleg yonder bags. Just have someone walk around with like a laundry basket, like, "Put your shit in here. I'll try to get you the right one at the end of the night."
All right, so this has been Musicians Sports Podcast. We are on the road to 500 on YouTube, so please like, share, subscribe to the page. It's huge. Don't cost you nothing. You'll see all our videos when they come out. In the meantime, I'm Mikey. That's Brandon.
Yo.
And Hugh. See you next time.
Later.
That bitch got dragons.